Taurus woman, if you're watching this video, it's because something inside you recognized the truth hidden in this title. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those moments when the bed next to you is empty, when the silence of the night echoes louder than any words spoken during the day, when you lie down and feel an emptiness that goes far beyond someone's physical absence. This warning isn't about him, it's about you. It's about what's happening to your feminine soul as you sleep alone, night after night. There's a real danger that no Taurus woman should ignore. It's not the danger you imagine. It's not betrayal, abandonment, or any external drama. The danger is much more subtle, much deeper, and infinitely more powerful. It's the danger of discovering who you really are when no one is watching. It's the danger of your true essence emerging in the silence of the night, revealing truths about your life that you've been avoiding during the day. As you lie in that empty bed, something ancient awakens within you, something your grandmothers knew, something your great-grandmothers whispered to each other, but which our modern society has made you forget. You are not just a wife. You are not just a companion. You are a force of nature, disguised as an ordinary woman, and the solitude of the night is peeling away that disguise layer by layer. Each night alone is a revelation. Each dawn is a transformation, and that should scare you, because it means the life you've built may no longer serve who you are becoming. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness that grows in your chest when the day ends and you're faced once again with your own reflection in the dark. It's not sadness. It's not neediness. It's awakening. It's your Taurus soul remembering a power it carried for lifetimes, but which you've learned to hide to fit into the role of the perfect wife, the understanding companion, the woman who doesn't bother. But I need to tell you something that will change your perspective forever. This loneliness you feel is not a punishment. It's a calling. It's not abandonment. It's liberation. Every night you spend alone is peeling back false layers of your identity, revealing the extraordinary woman who has always existed beneath the expectations others have placed upon you. And when that woman fully emerges, and she will, nothing in your life will remain the same. The first sign this is happening is when you start enjoying your own company, when you stop seeing the empty bed as a lack and start seeing it as a sacred space where you can finally be completely yourself. When moments of silence stop terrifying you and start inspiring you. This doesn't mean you've stopped loving your husband. It means you've started loving yourself in a way you've never experienced before. Taurus woman, you need to understand something fundamental. You were created to be a stabilizing force in the world, but not through submission, through power. You were designed to create safety and beauty around you, but not by sacrificing yourself, by expressing yourself fully. When you sleep alone, your soul is taking inventory of all the times you diminished yourself, silenced yourself, and adapted to maintain peace, and it refuses to continue this pattern. Taurus women born between April 20th and April 30th are experiencing this awakening through a quiet revolution in how they view their relationships. You're discovering that you can love deeply without losing yourself in the process. For those born between May 1st and 10th, the transformation is happening in the area of creative expression and sensuality. You're remembering that you are sensual beings by nature, not just when someone is present to witness it. And for those born between May 11th and 20th, the awakening is related to personal power and financial independence. You're discovering that you can create abundance without relying on anyone. But all of you, regardless of your date of birth, are undergoing an ancient feminine initiation. You are being prepared to become matriarchs of your own lives, leaders of your own destinies, queens of your own kingdoms. And this is frightening, because with great power comes great responsibility, the responsibility to stop pretending you're small when you're immense. Have you noticed how your dreams have changed since you started sleeping alone? How your intuition has sharpened? How you can sense things about people and situations that previously went unnoticed? This is no coincidence. When a Taurus woman has the space to process life without outside interference, she accesses levels of wisdom that are almost psychic. You are becoming an oracle of your own existence. But with this clarity comes a disturbing realization. You may discover that some people in your life, possibly including your husband, benefited from the lesser version of you. The you who didn't question, who didn't demand, who accepted emotional scraps as if they were banquets. The version that was awakening in your lonely nights no longer accepts this. It wants reciprocity. It demands respect. It demands to be seen and valued in its entirety. And therein lies the real danger. When you become impossible to ignore, some people will try to convince you to return to invisibility. They'll tell you that you've changed, that you're not the same anymore, that you're demanding too much. They're not wrong. You really have changed. You really are not the same anymore, and you really are demanding more because you've finally discovered that you deserve more. Nighttime solitude is teaching you the difference between being alone and being abandoned. Being alone is a state of power. It's when you have the opportunity to know yourself without filters, to dream without limitations, to plan without asking permission. Being abandoned is when you need someone to feel complete, and you're discovering that you've never been abandoned. You've always been accompanied by yourself. Taurus woman, there's an ancestral force running through your veins that your ancestors knew well. It's the power of the earth, the moon, and natural cycles. It's the wisdom that knows when it's time to plant and when it's time to harvest. And it's telling you that it's time to reap all the self-knowledge you've sown during these lonely nights. It's time to translate this inner wisdom into concrete, external changes. You may be feeling afraid that by becoming this more powerful version of yourself, you'll lose the love you have. But let me ask you a question that will cut straight to the heart of the matter. Is what you have truly love, or is it convenience? Are you loved for who you are or for how you serve others? The woman emerging from your lonely nights deserves true love, not conditional love based on her ability to be small and comfortable. The truth is, you're going through a death and a rebirth. The woman who accepts anything for companionship is dying. The woman who prefers dignified solitude to humiliating company is being born. And when she fully emerges, she will attract a completely different kind of love into her life. A love that celebrates her strength rather than trying to control her. A love that feels honored to be in the presence of her authenticity. During these nights alone, you're learning that your value isn't diminished by the absence of others. In fact, it's amplified. You're discovering passions you didn't know you had, dreams you'd buried, opinions you were afraid to express. You're reconnecting with the girl you were before you learned you had to be convenient to be loved. And here's something that will surprise you. This transformation you're experiencing in your lonely nights is being observed by other women around you. They feel the shift in your energy, even if they can't quite put their finger on it. You're becoming a mirror for them, reflecting possibilities they didn't know existed. Some will feel inspired, others will feel threatened. Both reactions are confirmation that you're on the right path. Taurus woman, you are being called to become a pioneer in your own life, to show that it is possible to love deeply without losing yourself, that it is possible to be loyal without being submissive, that it is possible to create harmony without sacrificing authenticity. But this requires courage, the courage to disappoint people who have grown accustomed to a diminished version of you. The courage to occupy the space that has always been rightfully yours. The courage to shine even when others prefer to remain in your shadow. The changes happening within you during these nights may seem subtle at first. Maybe you start decorating your space in a way that more reflects your personality. Maybe you start choosing clothes that make you feel powerful rather than just appropriate. Maybe you start expressing opinions you previously kept to yourself. But these small changes are like ripples on water. They spread and eventually transform the entire landscape of your life. You may be wondering if you're being selfish for wanting more from life, if you're being ungrateful for not being content with what you have. But let me tell you something, no woman should have to learn alone. Wanting to be fully yourself isn't selfish, it's a responsibility. You have a responsibility to honor the magnitude of your soul, to express the beauty of your essence, to share the unique gifts you brought into this world. When you become true to your own nature, you not only elevate your own life, you elevate the lives of everyone around you. You give others permission to be authentic too. You break generational patterns of feminine submission disguised as virtue. You create a new paradigm where true love coexists with powerful individuality. Taurus woman, there's a silent revolution happening in your heart during these lonely nights. A revolution that doesn't require demonstrations or shouting, but is equally powerful. It's the revolution of a woman who decides that her presence is a gift, not a favor, that her company is a privilege, not a right, that her love is sacred, not something to be wasted on those who can't recognize its value. During your lonely nights, you are being initiated into the mysteries of divine femininity. You are learning that a woman in touch with her own essence is a force that can move mountains, heal wounds, and create beauty where there was once chaos. But this strength needs to be respected, nurtured, and celebrated. You are discovering that solitude can be a state of grace when it is consciously chosen, rather than imposed by circumstances. When you embrace these moments alone, as opportunities for communion with your soul, they become sacred. They become moments where you can hear the voice of your inner wisdom without the interference of external expectations. The woman emerging from these nights of introspection isn't just an improved version of who you were before. She's who you've always been, but hidden beneath layers of social conditioning, fear of rejection, and need for approval. She's the woman your ancestors were before patriarchal society taught them that female power was dangerous and should be contained. You may feel like you're betraying someone by becoming more powerful, more independent, more self-assured. But the only real betrayal would be to continue betraying yourself by pretending to be less than you are. It would be wasting the unique gifts you possess, the wisdom you carry, the transformative love you can offer when it comes from a place of wholeness rather than lack. Taurus woman, during these lonely nights, you are being prepared for a new chapter in your life, a chapter where you are the protagonist of your own story, not a supporting character in someone else's, a chapter where your needs, dreams, and desires are as important as anyone else's in your life, a chapter where you love from abundance, not scarcity. This preparation may include moments of sadness for the time you wasted being less than you could be, moments of anger for the times you accepted crumbs when you deserved feasts, moments of fear about how this new version of you will be received by the important people in your life. All of these feelings are valid and necessary. They are part of the process of unleashing your true essence. But amidst all these complex feelings, there's also a growing excitement, the excitement of finally meeting the extraordinary woman you've always been, but who was hidden. The excitement of discovering that you don't need anyone to feel complete, which paradoxically makes you much more interesting and attractive to the right people. Nighttime solitude is teaching you that you are both the temple and the goddess who dwells within it. You are both the question and the answer. You are both the thirst and the water that quenches it. This understanding is creating within you an emotional self-sufficiency that is simultaneously liberating and frightening. Liberating because you will never again have to settle for less than you deserve. Frightening because it means you will have to take full responsibility for the quality of your life. Taurus woman, you are in the midst of a transformation that is both deeply personal and universally feminine. You are learning lessons that women have had to learn alone for generations, because there is no manual for becoming a powerful woman in a world that prefers convenient women. But you are discovering that you have all the inner resources necessary to navigate this transformation with dignity and strength. Your nights alone are becoming masterclasses in self-love, self-discovery, and self-empowerment. You're learning to be your own best friend, your own wisest advisor, your own most trusted source of validation. And when you master these skills completely, you'll become impossible to manipulate, impossible to diminish, impossible to make settle for less than the greatness you deserve. The woman emerging from these nights of transformation will no longer accept relationships where she has to hide parts of herself to maintain peace. She will no longer pretend to agree with things that violate her values to avoid conflict. She will no longer minimize her dreams to avoid intimidating, insecure partners. She will demand relationships that celebrate her completeness, not try to cure her of an imaginary incompleteness. And when she finds or creates these relationships, and she will, they will be of a quality and depth you never knew were possible. Because true relationships are only possible between people who know and value each other completely. And you're doing exactly that work on yourself during these seemingly lonely nights. Taurus woman, if you've made it this far in this message, it's because something inside you recognized the truth of what's being said. You're not just going through a phase. You're not just missing company. You're undergoing a profound metamorphosis that will redefine not only how you see yourself, but how the world sees you. And this metamorphosis has been waiting for moments of silence and solitude to fully unfold. Your nights alone are not punishment. They are a gift. They are not abandonment. They are an encounter. They are not an end. They are a beginning. And the woman who is emerging from these nights will be such a powerful force that you will wonder how you managed to live so long, hiding such magnitude. Are you ready to stop fearing your own power and start using it to create the extraordinary life that was always possible for you? If this message touched something deep within you, if you recognized your own experience reflected in these words, share in the comments how these nights alone have transformed your perception of yourself. Your vulnerability may be exactly what another Taurus woman needs to recognize that she is not alone in this awakening experience. Subscribe to this channel now, because your transformation is just the beginning. You'll need guidance on how to integrate this powerful new version of yourself into your daily life, how to communicate your renewed needs to the people who matter, and how to navigate the challenges that arise when you stop being convenient and start being authentic. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any messages that can support you in this rebirth process. Remember, Taurus woman, you're not sleeping alone. You're waking up accompanied by yourself. And that's the most important, most reliable, most transformative companion you could ever have. When you learn to fully love this companion, everything else in your life will align to reflect this inner revolution. Your lonely nights are planting the seeds of an extraordinary life. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust the power that's awakening within you.